All righty, y'all. Here we go. And done. Peace of greetings to y'all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghazio Bey here in Morocco in Northwest Mexico. How are you? Hey, I know you're probably thinking, man, it is 1:35 anti-meridian Eastern, right? Which means it's 12:35 Central, and so it's technically, Friday. It's Holy Day, so happy Holy Venus degree to you all. However, we know for Mountain and Pacific, it's still technically Thursday, right? And what I'll do, I'm going to, go over briefly as we're looking at the calendar. I'll speak about the two transits from yesterday. I know when the sun rose yesterday, it was at 9 degrees, 28 minutes, which is a degree according to Vivian E. Robson, Fixed Stars, Constellations, right? We know that around uh, the Encyclopedia of Astrology, those of us that, peruse that, we know that around 9 degrees is a degree of homicide. I'm not a doom and gloom astrologer, so sometimes we can, internalize ending some things about ourselves within to be able to shed away something that may not be helpful to us in order to, bring about something new. So it could be the energy of homicide can be internally used in a way where it's not necessarily a suicide, but internally stopping a part of our energy as far as our consciousness and personality, maybe a part of our reasoning that we may have to, you know, prune away, so to speak. All right. However, with that being said, let's just get right into this, and then I will go in for the transits that are happening today. And we really have something I think coming up at about 1:54 anti-meridian Eastern. So let's see what we have here. All right. So I'm going to share the screen here. All righty, Aphrodite. So let me zoom on in, and I'll just briefly go over, what did you guys experience, with some energy pertaining to Luna squaring Venus, right? That was experienced about 43 minutes after 10 a.m. Was your experience that of, you actually finding some value in some way, shape, or form about yourself through family? Maybe there was something in the home that you felt that you wanted to have done a certain way. Did you get up Thursday and began cleaning? You know what I mean? Because the moon square Venus would be a way of you overcoming an obstacle of beautifying your home, or also allowing yourself to see the beauty in yourself, or maybe even making a bit of some decisions for transformation, for some type of creativity as far as beauty and art. However, also maybe even, find foods. Maybe you're finding yourself looking to entertain a fast. That may have been what your Thursday experience been. You may be considering fasting. You may also be considering changing your consumption habits as far as what you're eating. So that was very moon square Venus kind of energy. And then the second transit that took place on Thursday and that was about 12 minutes after 1300 hours, right? That would be one post meridian Eastern. We had the third quarter moon. All righty, we have the solar lunar square there. And here's where I would like to just ask you, hey, was you having an experience, or did you have an experience? I'm not just what did. Okay, what was your experience? Did you have an experience with your creativity in the home? Not necessarily being challenged, but you found that in order for you to accomplish some level of creativity, that you would have to actually do a bit of a renovation internally in the way that you actually secure yourself. So even if it dealt with things pertaining to your own self-esteem, or actually may even dealt with some things as far as, um, you needing to be nurtured? Did you find on this Thursday, all right, that we just, had recently happened? However, those of you Mountain and Pacific time are still experiencing. Was there an energy pertaining to you having to actually humble yourself and allowing your loved ones to actually be there for you so that you can now accept, sometimes your creativity is really based on the love and support of, your loved ones, alrighty, especially in times where you actually need them to comfort you, all right? So that may be an experience that you guys have experienced. Maybe you didn't realize that certain loved ones actually thought about you and cared about you, alrighty? So that is really bringing a spotlight on family, right? As well as maybe you're someone too who may have either lost or found some type of gold object or some object pertaining to value, some very expensive property of yours. And you may have overcome that obstacle, or you're realizing that you have to let go of the memory of some certain type of value pertaining to maybe some expensive jewelry or something golden, so to speak. And you have to really allow your heart and mind to be able to use that energy for you to make a new focus and learning how to let go so that you can grasp a new task at hand. So I'm just asking, is that how your Thursday went while Luna transited and continues to transit Pisces, right? And sunrise Thursday was at 0500 hours 47 minutes, and sunset was at 2000 hours 21 minutes. Moving forward, what I'm going to discuss now is, and like I said, you see, there's a transit coming up at 1:54 Eastern, right? Of course, adjust your time zones accordingly as these things are happening for the time zones that you're near. So for the 31st, we see that Luna is continuing its transit in Pisces and will soon egress Pisces and then ingress Aries. Sunrise is at 0500 hours 47 minutes. Sunset is at 2000 hours 22 minutes. We see we have 5 transits, 4 of them lunar, 1 of them mercurial, and 1 lunar ingress. So Mercury and Uranus, right? Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, right? So Mercury is conjunct its higher octave planet in just a few minutes here, actually, in just about 12 minutes. So I will be discussing that. So we're leading up to it. This is very interesting too, because I'm communicating astrology, right? Mercury, communication, astrology, Uranus. So there's a communication, boom, right there, right? That's a bit of a manifestation that ye all are collectively observing in the moment. So Mercury conjunct Uranus, then we see that Luna conjunct Saturn, sextiles Uranus, then sextiles Mercury, then Luna is conjunct Neptune. And that will be the last aspect that Luna makes in Pisces with his conjunction to, Neptune there. And then it'll be void of course for what looks like about 30, let's see. It's looking like 34 minutes, all right? And I know usually I actually put that there for you guys, right? So why don't I do so? Let's mark this up, put that there for you guys so you can see that. Let's duplicate that, yeah? Zoom in, why don't you? All right, 6 plus 28, all right? 34. All right. So we're going to edit that and make it 34 minutes for the void, of course. 0 hours and 34 minutes if we're looking at that correctly. So, moon void, of course, is buyer's remorse. Just made sure I put that there for you guys so you're clear on the void, of course, moon that is taking place. All righty, later on today for the East Coast. It's later on today for the East Coast, right? All righty. However, adjust your time zone accordingly, all right, for these transits. As you all know, I am observing these transits from near the Baltimore Corporation, Maryland State Republic, as you guys will see when I bring the chart up. And we're going to go over these very briefly. Alrighty. And I know you guys are like, hold on, what happened to you yesterday? Honestly, I was really enjoying my loved ones. And I had to, little rest and recharge, went and exercised with family, shot some basketball. I was like, you know what, dude? I'm going to rest. I'm going to rest, right? Get a little recharge in anyway, because I've been going at it too, like even tonight before going live, doing quite a bit of studying and quite a bit of preparation for different beings near different state republics as far as, their dealings, so to speak. Well, not their dealings, but the fact that they are actual victims, so to speak, of statutory misapplication. So actually preparing some languaging, so to speak, for them to actually fend for themselves against the misapplication of the statutes that's being used against them. So I've been also busy with that, as well as, studying the financial markets and, media and astrology. Those are my big four. However, I know it's something else I'm about to make sure I add to that consecutively. Also, I've been going so hard, really, with my studies these past 10 years. But these last 2 years, I have really been like study, like really just like going hard. And so now it's just time to kind of, add a little recreation, right? A little recess to my studies. So that's what I see is, something that is happening also. So I got 5 pillars, so to speak. So, as far as jurisprudence, astrology, media, and trading, right? Really interested in this trading thing. I really think it's something that people really sincerely grasp, And I know it's not for everybody, but if you got a 5th house like me and a 5th house promise like I do, you may find yourself enjoying the study pertaining to trading the markets, as far as that's concerned. All right, so shout out to the TUPAC, right? The Universally Professional Astrology Community. I look forward to us enjoying ourselves next day, right? Saturday, and enjoying that for the 1st June 2024, all right? As we go in on continuing what we're doing in our astrology concept corrections. We're having a great time. You guys want to join TUPAC, remember, bring a buddy, because the join TUPAC for a lifetime is 250 units in lieu of lawful money via CashApp. However, that 250 can be split down the middle. You bring a buddy, and it'll be 125 each. However, you have to bring your buddy. They have to sign up, all right? So that's how it goes, all right? So with that being said, you get a whole bunch of, perks just by, 1, having a community, and 2, there are tons of videos that we have now. There's 36 videos, and plus the Quick Thinking Moon and Mercury video that you get access to also. What was that? I just heard something fall. And I don't know what it was. What was that? Oh, I know what that was. Okay. I was like, hold on, man. I just heard something hit the ground. All righty, looky, Astro Cookie. You want to talk about Mercury conjunct Uranus? Jesus Christ. Let me tell you. So my pen tablet is electronic, right? That's Uranus, right? And one of the screws that I normally, I probably didn't tighten it, right? Back all the way. But it's funny because pen tablet is Mercury, right? For writing and using it, right? However, it's electronic. That's Uranus, Mercury conjunct Uranus in the moment, right? That is very interesting. And it's, man, I'm ready to really look at that transit already. Like, yo, this is bananas. I'll get my screwdriver in a bit and just tighten that up, but I trust I'm good right now. I should be all right. Okay. So moving forward, let's do it. All right, let me stop the screen share right here. TUPAC, guys, make sure you join. All right, schedule your mirror AstroLiteracy session with Brother Hasan Ghazio Bey. You will not be disappointed. Remember, the promo code REFLECT takes 39% off of the Mirror Astro Literacy session, as well as you get 33.334% off of your Celestial Promise session. Also, inquire within. Don't be shy. You can DM me on Instagram, or and really that's where people have scheduled with me the most, is through the DM on Instagram. And you know, 7HealStar has a TikTok also. It can be inboxed there. But I mean, Instagram is really where people reach out to me the most. The second, you know, application, so to speak, that people reach out the most is through Gmail, 7HealStar@gmail.com. All right. So schedule your Mirror Astro Literacy session. And I think some people also via text, because they know the Google Voice number is never hidden. It's usually in the description when I finish these videos. All right. So with that being said, let's stop the screen share here. Oh, 34 minutes, right, for that move with, of course. And Luna ingress Aries at 28 minutes after 2300 hours tonight. All right. So let's stop it, the screen share. And let's start the screen share over here. And I trust we get a flow going on. All right, so we see that sunrise is taking place at a fortunate degree, right? Gemini at 10 degrees, 26 minutes, fortunate degree. So very fortunate degree. And it's ruling over the fourth house in this tropical regiomontanous house style chart. 17 degrees is a Leo degree. So that's very interesting. The sun's at a Capricorn degree, ruling over fourth house that's at a Leo degree. So here is where we can really enjoy our time with our little ones, all righty? You know, in teaching lessons and, you know, setting house in order, so to speak, so that they can be able to value themselves as they grow, and as they get older, they actually recognize that the structure that was instilled in them as a child really prepared them for the structure necessary in their grown years, all right? So that's what I have for that one there. And as we know, before sunrise, we are having a Mercurial Uranian conjunction. So that's what I shall do there. All right, and it's previous. Let's see. All right, so for the 31st May 2024 at 1:53:47, 0100 hours, 53 minutes and 47 seconds, post meridian Eastern. From our perspective here near the Baltimore Corporation, Maryland State Republic, we have Mercury, of course, here at 24 degrees Taurus, 8 minutes, and Uranus at 24 degrees Taurus, 8 minutes. Both of these celestial bodies are in the second house. And that's very interesting too, because remember I told you the screw came up with this pentacle, and I'm just like, yo, that is amazing. And this is a valuable, right, so to speak, because this is, you know, I get to move my cursor a lot quicker than using a mouse, right? This is what I got to be able to work Photoshop faster, and many other applications that, you know, it just seems like a pen tablet is way quicker. And, you know, that's the electronic, right? Held in the hand, Mercury rules over the hand. So a handheld electronic also. So here, however, being under the dispositorship of Venus, right, is at 9 degrees. And that's interesting because I do use this to share information, quote unquote, teach. 9 degrees is a Sagittarian degree. So Venus at a Sagittarian degree, and in Gemini, which is early childhood development, which deals with teaching, right? While that is in the third house, right? Dispositing for the second, right? This is really just showing that we can have some values in wounded healing, right? Being honest about what we actually experience, even in the moment. Like, I guess an example of wounded healing would be fixing or rescrewing in the screw in the bottom of my pen tablet, just to give an example, right? Because it's like, that is a pure astrological moment. Like, when things happen like that, that's why I be like, oh, astrology wins again, right? And being able to, you know, have something in the hand to be able to fix it, right? And it's funny because it will take a tool kind of with a sharp edge, right? Phillips head screwdriver, right? That's to fix that. The wounded healing, right, with a screwdriver that adds structure. 22 degrees is a Capricorn degree, right? Mars would also be that tool in Aries, right? For the electronic, the 23 degrees is a Aquarian degree. So that's very interesting. However, both of these are at a Piscean degree within Taurus. So here, the things that could possibly be hidden, possibly, so to speak, or when it comes to isolating the things, right? Maybe there's some type of isolated incident that is to, take place in terms of communicating electronically. I feel like electronic communication is going to be high today, very valued. You may be someone who's actually about to get a new cell phone today, or you got one the day prior, on Thursday, on the 30th. Maybe you got some new electronic communication. Maybe you're communicating more via different electronics. Maybe you're someone who's like, you know what, I'm gonna start using the voice to text, feature on my device, so to speak. And so here is where we can see the energy pertaining to Mercury conjunct Uranus manifest, and that was actually 2 minutes ago, all right, roughly, right? So as I was even discussing it in the moment, I was having a very Mercury conjunct Uranus moment, all righty. And so, and that's kind of why I decided to kind of go live in this. So I wanted you guys to kind of get an example of things in the moment. The whole screw falling off the pen tablet, though, that was completely unexpected and impromptu. However, you guys already know, quick thinking, Moon and Mercury is what is always, afoot for me. So with Venus actually ruling over this conjunction here, we can be able to take the wounded healing, better our structure, especially with things that we share, and maybe even do our best to, move forward in ordering things, setting things in order. All right, not only for groups, but maybe even for electronics, and maybe we're even sharing some things, some really valuable ideals that may be hidden to others, and being able to communicate those things and those values, especially when communicating them and sharing them pertaining to astrology. So this would be also a great day to schedule your Mirror Astro Literacy session. All right. So in moving forward, we know we have a lunar Saturnian conjunction that's brewing a little over 2.5 hours after. Well, maybe exactly about, a little over 2.5 hours, roughly. Exactly 2.5 hours, actually. Looking at that correct. Any hoosers. Luna and Saturn making their conjunction next. Should be at approximately 24 minutes after 0400 hours. So 0400 hours, 23 minutes, 36 seconds. All righty. So Luna and Saturn are here. All righty. Conjunct at 18 degrees, Pisces, 43 minutes. 18 degrees, very interesting. That's a Virgoan degree. So here is where working from home, all righty, you may need to participate in maybe a moment where, in working from home, maybe you and your colleagues are actually called to participate in some group activity pertaining to your work, or maybe if you guys work as a contractual group, here's where some exercise that's done through your colleagues and with your colleagues, an exercise that everyone is asked to participate in, to kind of give everyone an opportunity to lay their head down from the mundane rigmarole or the everyday throes, so to speak, of the task at hand for whatever it is, whatever you do for resources for you and your loved one. This is where, maybe a session of doing a bit of yoga at work, maybe some may find that, even though they may normally not participate in things like doing yoga or things of that nature, a lot of people will find like, you know what, maybe this is a bit of the structure that I need. This gives me an opportunity to really secure another way of actually, enjoying oneself, and also another way of someone being able to grasp a peace of mind. And this may give people, you know, an outlook of, hold on, I can really allow myself to be calm at work, quote unquote. So this may also help people to secure a means that whenever things may get a little rough in the midst of them accomplishing their task, they will have a resource to resort to in calming themselves down. Maybe even a bit of a breathing type of relaxation practice while even at their desk, quote unquote, whatever at your desk may be, right? Could be literal or figurative in that sense. All right. Lunar sextile Uranus. Look at that, man. Like, you know, and then it's going to sextile Mercury. So Uranus and Mercury are getting some super play today, right? So 60-degree aspect between Luna and Uranus, about 36 minutes after 1300 hours, 36 minutes and 9 seconds. To be exact, Luna's at 24 degrees Pisces, 9 minutes in the 7th house, as we see here. Uranus at 24 degrees, 9 minutes in the 9th. Looky. Astro cookie. That is very interesting, honestly. And it looks like that 9th house is packed, actually. The 9th house has Uranus, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and the Sun all in it. So we have a 9th house stellium here. And Luna is actually sextiling that Uranus, and next it will sextile that Mercury. However, with these houses being 3 houses apart from each other, there's an underlying energy of pertaining to communication and communication between relatives or partners. You may work together, or maybe it's your loved one, all righty, your consort, right, your beloved son master consort, or your beloved mother mistress consort, right? Instead of saying wife or husband, right, just giving you, you know, some other ways of looking at it, right? So with that being said, here is where people find a means to really institute a sound way of relating that may take them out of their comfort zone. All righty. However, in taking them out of their comfort zone, they actually find a valuable way in communicating and a means to really expand their mind and really expand a means to actually muster up more patience than they thought they had for whatever the topic is at hand. And here also, what is going to be communicated is not only what's being directly spoken about, but an example will be set when others are observing one's behavior or those behaviors, the behavior of those that are participating in the particular discussion. So here's where sudden changes can be made in the way that one's think and communicate, further expanding the value in their communication for a golden moment. The sun is in its joy in the 9th house, and it is clearly there, as I said, with Uranus. As I go here, Uranus, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, right? This is where the sun is all in the 9th house with them all, right? Because we can see the 9th house cusp is at 12 degrees Taurus, 24 is after 12, right? And the sun is at 10 degrees Gemini, 18 degrees for the 10th house is after 10. So that's why Uranus, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and the sun are all in the 9th house. Just giving you a means to make sudden changes while sharing what it is that you think, communicating it in an expansive yet very thorough way that will actually be very valuable in communicating what people may not know about you, all righty? And also being able to really communicate some things that may have been miscomprehended or misunderstood, and shedding light on who you are. And that will be golden for the structure and the communication that will take place in many conversations to come. So this is where people are finding a growth opportunity in how they are communicating amongst each other, and just instituting this communication, even though it may initially take them out of their comfort zone. But this is what they're destined for, those that are participating within said conversation. After that sextile to Uranus, Luna makes its sextile to Mercury next. And this is happening at approximately 1500 hours. To be exact, it's happening at 1500 hours, 19 minutes, and 7 seconds. Luna is now in the 6th house here. 25 degrees Pisces, 10 minutes. Mercury's in the 8th. And again, these are 3 houses apart. However, this is now dealing with some type of communication pertaining to your everyday work, pertaining to your health, pertaining to some type of service, actually. And maybe you may find yourself forgetting, oh man, I forgot to quote unquote transact for some type of bill, maybe a cell phone or some type of communication thing or whatever, until one's actually comprehend how to be able to actually position themselves in a way where they are having these trustees of these different so-called services not charge them as if they're retailing things, because all so-called bills, like for electricity, cell phone, any type of utility, the so-called bill is for those that are retailing those things as if you're reselling them. And until, it is figured out by those of you who may be even thinking like, okay, yeah, instead of having to think, oh, I gotta have this come out of some account to so-called quote unquote pay, which no one's ever really paying. It's just being, discharged because it's nothing of value you're really giving. However, what we'll be seeing here is a way to really set discipline, so you don't forget. So you may set reminders for yourself, or you may allow yourself to do what's called auto pay, so to speak, for your electronic device. So, or you might also upgrade, your electronic device, because now you find yourself actually having to communicate more through your electronics. Maybe you find yourself actually increasing your internet so-called speed, or getting more devices for internet within the space where you're either working or providing some other service for others to use, so that you can have no quote unquote dead zones within the space that you are allowing others to use the internet, or what you need to use for whatever craft it is that you do, or whatever career that it is that you do. All right. So that just looks really promising for that growth and opportunity for the people to, structurally institute for their everyday life a means to really expand their electronic communications by making sure that having that resource, making sure that it's always available without pause, especially if today was one of the days you forgot to take care of it. All right. So now that we've gotten into that, Luna now will conjunct, as we see it's brewing right here. Luna's on its way to making a conjunction with Neptune, the higher vibration or the higher octave pertaining to Venus. All right. So now Luna's conjunct Neptune at 2200 hours, 54 minutes, and 26 seconds post meridian Eastern. Well, 22 means it's post meridian, right? So that would be 10:54, 26 post meridian Eastern for 2200 hours, 54 minutes, 26 seconds. And Luna's conjunct Neptune in the 6th house. It's interesting. And I mean, in the 2nd house, that's interesting because Luna was conjunct Uranus in the 2nd house when we got started, right? That's why I thought, oh, was it Mercury? Mercury was conjunct Uranus, forgive me. Mercury was conjunct Uranus in the 2nd house when we got started for that transit that took place just a few minutes ago, already at 1:54 approximately. It was like 1:53 in some seconds, right? Anti-meridian Eastern, 1:53 anti-meridian Eastern, right? So now we see Luna is making a conjunction. So we had 2 conjunctions take place, as far as transits that we're observing today in the 2nd house. And Luna conjunct Neptune at 29 degrees. Some will know 29 degrees is a fatalistic degree. All righty. When it comes to Pisces, and 29 degrees in general is just an anaretic degree for most people that know. It's just like it's critical. However, you really get into studying the anareta, it can be looked at in a couple of ways, right? However, keep it brief and not so technical, right? So, even though the technicalities are very important because it definitely gives you insight even further than just what's on the surface. Luna conjunct Neptune this is where we can really have a means to isolate ourselves at home. Alrighty. So with that home isolation, this is where we can really enjoy. I mean, really, really enjoy a means to just be thankful for the things that we have. That's kind of where I'm seeing the isolation, so to speak, because a key word for Neptune is isolation. Even when studying astrology, you may come across the Latin word carcere, which is the Latin root for incarceration. But as I said before, incarceration is not just, the negative of being thrown in some correctional facility by people who misapply statutes, because that's really what is happening, right? Most people have to deal with that because statutes are actually being misapplied. And these people are victims of bureaucratized slavery because not too many people are actually reading the statutes. However, the positive incarceration is one is like a monk or a nun, for example, because that too is a cell that they retire to, so to speak, when they go to rest and recharge, right? They go to isolate themselves to, either meditate or do whatever it is that they do to recenter themselves. So that's why I use the word isolation. However, I'll make sure I also share, the lesson pertaining to the Latin term carcer for, that being the root in incarceration. However, I trust no one's attracting that energy to them as far as the negative incarceration. However, the positive ones of being able to rest and recharge, to be able to meditate, and maybe you want to take some time to do some breathing exercises at this time. It'll make it'll be great for you. It'll be very valuable for you, and it's a means for you to actually possess further some structure in your life, where you can be able to find what will be very fortunate, and what will be fortunate is some form of like Akashic download will actually come to you. You'll have some type of Akashic download. There'll be some type of message that you will receive, and only you guys will know. However, if you do get some type of idea, message, or something like that, some type of Akashic download, share in the chat what it was, if you don't mind sharing. If it's something a little too, personal, you want to keep it to yourself, do that too. You don't have to share. Or you can reach out to me personally, be like, hey man, I didn't want to put it in the comments, but look, I did have this happen or whatever, that night, and now I'm running with it. Or maybe you'll tell me this, sometime after. That you had an inspiration due to you isolating yourself, centering yourself, and you were able to receive an Akashic download, and now you're moving forward with it, and you're taking your place amongst the affairs of men with that idea and better assisting, humanity. All right. So Luna goes forward, of course, for 34 minutes after this conjunction here with Neptune, and then last but not least, Luna ingresses Aries, all right? And that's going to take place about 28 minutes after 2300 hours, 2300 hours, 28 minutes, and 3 seconds to be exact, all righty? And that's happening, of course, in the second house. So Luna at 0 degrees Aries, all righty? This is where I know people will be able to take that idea that they just had in that moment with that Luna conjunct Neptune, and it may be one that even if it was induced by some mind altering substance. I'm not encouraging anyone to take mind altering substances. However, I know if you partake in it, it's none of my business. And I'm not going to be some type of fucking prude about it. I'm just saying, if the vision that we had of the Akashic download was based on, you actually imbibing or inhaling some substance for your relaxation, responsibly speaking, then what you'll see here is that the value of that idea, you're gonna really like, you know what, I'm gonna move forward with this. And you may actually be up taking notes. Maybe you're typing some things to yourself in your device, or maybe you're writing down on like a notepad that you may have of some sort, some post-its or something. And what you can actually do, oh, you know what? I have not been monitoring the chat. What you can actually do is further secure that idea, finding the value in it, and not being afraid to actually move forward with it. Brother Tyro and C. Thomas, peaceful greetings to you, brothers. Brother Tyro says, peace and love, everyone. And C. Thomas says, Islam to you, brothers. All right. So with that being said, let this moon ingressing Aries really be a way that you can really hone in and bring home, so to speak, that valuable idea that you have. Make sure you move forward, stay driven, alrighty. In doing so, you'll be able to better expand upon that by just, really being creative. Be very creative and making sure you're expanding on that, because the sudden changes in your thought process and how you're seeing it, will allow you to move forward. So the key is that in order for you to move on it, you have to see it through. And you may actually keep it to yourself and work on it so that you're not discouraged by others that may not see the vision that you actually had. All right. With that, any questions, comments, and or suggestions going once? Questions, comments, and or suggestions going once? And I thank you all for joining me, right? Those of you that are even, I guess, up this late, up this early, I guess that's perspective, right? Wherever you are on the planet, because I know people aren't just viewing, this either live or even when they see the replay, once it's archived and they come back and see what was live. I know y'all are watching and participating all over the world. I appreciate y'all for taking your time to look at these presentations, all right? I would say make sure you are scheduling your Mirror AstroLiteracy session or your Celestial Promise session. Always Mirror AstroLiteracy session is my one thing, and there's multiple types of things I can see in astrology. Of course, I can do relationships, progressions, all types of things. I can look to a lot. I just know that for what is best for me to share when it comes to y'all getting what you need for astrology, that the Mirror AstroLiteracy session is the foundational session to have. And it makes everything else so much easier. Even though, some people, when they first come to me, they're getting the couple session. And so that's a modified Mirror AstroLiteracy session. However, some things still take place there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's Broski. What's up, bro? My brother Silent Seven's in the chat. Peaceful greetings to you, bro. All right, peaceful greetings. So with that being said, guys, what I think is always great is with the Mirror AstroLiteracy session, and why, you guys hear me, say schedule it. The reason why is because it's a self-reflection session. I really think with that, because some of you know why I really took on the astrology, especially after, coming across what it is that I see that Prophet Noble Drew Ali expressly prescribed. And, my bro in the chat, it's so funny because conversations with him, about 22 years ago, conversations with him is what led me to taking my Kalima Shahada in the Nation of Islam. And then, seeing, what it was that, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had, respected also, and so with that being said, and two, I know those Moors that are here, we also recognize what is recognized in the Nation of Islam. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Moors also recognize him as Brother Elijah Poole Bey, right? However, at the end of the day, being able to move forward in those studies to be able to better assist, in uplifting fallen humanity, and not just, to be someone who is self-aggrandizing. What I realize is we would have a lot of things change, especially for those of us that grew up in the hood. You know what I mean? If people actually had the astrology for themselves and their little ones, like how I seen a lot of, you guys know I'm not knocking it already, but a lot of our Albion sons and daughters, that when I've come across people in different astrological societies, and of course, most of them are Albion sons and daughters, they've grown up in different Masonic orders, junior Masonic orders, and they know that craft very well when it comes to astrology, because they are having people read their astrology when they're little. And I know some people go like, "Oh, you shouldn't be reading children's astrology and stuff like that." Like when you really know what this is, you don't have to guess. Alrighty, it's actually some hardcore instructions there. When it comes to really observing your own astrology, you don't have to guess. You can actually see what energies are there that really appeal to what you can do, what you can learn, what you can be really good at as far as your craft and things of that nature, right? So that's why I say for people to schedule their mirror AstroLiteracy sessions, it really allows you to meet yourself for the first time. And then it really takes the weight off of your shoulders, because now you have a sense of direction and you're like, whoa. That's why, maybe one of these sessions I can have, right? Albion, Albion, our pale skinned sons and daughters, right? Because, when you are looking at CM Bay's work, right? Charles Mosley Bay. And you guys know I've did presentations of going through all of CM Bay's work, from the Zodiac Constitution, Clock of Destiny Book 1 and Clock of Destiny Book 2, right? When you actually go through those books and you see what a lot of people call those high Masonic degrees, you actually realize like, okay, I see what this is. The first child support was the fact that, we were doing experiments and grafting, doing these experiments at Patagonia, which is now known as Argentina, right? And doing these experiments, and grafting there, because a lot of people are like, oh, we're talking about the European. Well, they're really Amazonian Redskins. They're South American, but they are sons and daughters. One mother's breast have given a suck. So, the term Moor even itself deals with the process of oogenesis, right? And I'm just going off on this because of my brother, yeah, Albion. It's just like albino, but with the N and O reversed, right? But yeah, you got it there too, brother C. Thomas, right? Brother Corey, right? I know it says C. Thomas, but I know it's brother Corey Bay. I know 3 brother Corey Bays, but anyway, But in the oogenesis process, when the egg leaves the ovum, travels the fallopian tube, it moors itself. It moors to attach. So that's really where that comes from. And that's one of the huge Masonic secrets. Like, everyone's a Moor if you comprehend the oogenesis process. Ovary leaving ovum, traveling fallopian tube, and mooring itself to the endometrium, which lines mother uterus, awaiting that defibrillatory energy, right? Term sperm or whatever, to now produce that heartbeat that people usually sonographically, get to hear, so to speak, right? But however, yeah, when you comprehend what that is, then you actually comprehend even more the black and white checker floor, a whole bunch of different things. You guys know, and I've gone over that in the yeah, bro. Yeah, that's exactly, yeah. Because what's interesting is, because what I found out is, when you really see what that bigger picture is, it like I thought too, it's like, man, I really realized the graduation on my spiritual path that I'm continuing on, right? No matter you know, I wear a black fez and I got these different badges and things of that nature and studying for 10 years. And I know these, at the end of the day, it's about uplifting fallen humanity. Right. And I know that there's a bloodening back process that's happening also because of the karmic debt that is still to, be worked out on the planet. And I'm telling you, man, and you guys know I give you guys free access. Matter of fact, I'll make sure you guys don't have access to Prophet Noble Drew University, where you can actually read these books, right? A lot of these books you guys see me go over online and have read them online. You guys, a lot of you already have access to them. But for those that don't, I'll make sure I add your email to Prophet Noble Drew University so you can see these PDFs yourself. You guys already know from the videos, because we did Zodiac Constitution, Clock of Destiny Book 1, Clock of Destiny Book 2. We took those few Fridays to go over them. You guys know for 48 Sundays, we did the Holy Quran for the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, which adopted as its corporate name, Moorish Science Temple of America. We did that for 48 Sundays in a row, from chapter 48 down to 41, down to 1 and the introduction. All righty. So, to always be able to share that information in a way that people don't feel like I'm shoving it down your throat and browbeating you with it, but at the same time, making sure I'm complete in my languaging to, even if it's not popularly utilized. It's clear that even like when my bro was like, hold on, just want to be sure on what Albion is. It's like, yeah, I'm talking about our pale-skinned sons and daughters. Oh, sons and daughters? What do you mean? Well, it's our responsibility. We're the ones that was doing those experiments. Like, you know what I mean? And the karmic debt that has been swinging back, and this pendulum swinging, is because it's like, first treating the Albion sons and daughters in a way is like, okay, well, we created a slave class for this particular reason. And then that, because the way the astrology works, that swing of that pendulum, it turned it upside down. So that's what was going on the planet, but mainly here, because this is Atlantis, right? Or all of these so-called mystical places, it's here because the hub of the universe is the North Gate. Right, cosmologically, we know that what's occupied by the so-called United States is the North Gate, astro-masonically speaking. Brother C. Tom said, just Google albino, and it is quite interesting. You're hilarious. So I was said, be right back. All right, cool. So yeah, so with that, right? What we're seeing is. What we're actually seeing is what was actually, we already know, because whether someone actually prophesies it or not, we already know that the prophet before Prophet Noble Drew Ali was Emmanuel Ben Benu Ali, who has been written in reconstructed history as Benjamin Banneker. However, you guys also know I went over the Big Ben Bay from the Circle of Mothers and Sons to give the history of why the Dark Priesthood was given the keys to actually, beat the mothers and fathers of civilization back into shape so that they can go back and take their place, that pinnacle amongst the affairs of men. Alrighty, so that's one of the reasons why you guys get something like a Tropic Medical Astro Weather Report, every Wednesday now, on the daily, right? Just that yesterday, like I said, I wanted to take some time to rest and recharge, but I spoke as much even after my outro here to that, because I saw my bro come in, and I saw you guys are actually here too. Like, it's like all the brothers are here right at this time, so that's good, man. You guys are up at this hour. I know some people call this the bewitching hour. Well, really it's around 3 o'clock they call it the bewitching hour, but witch means wise, right? So these are the being wise hours, right? But really that's all the time. The mathematics of every day is civilization. And what's more civilized than to just always be able to expand knowledge and information based on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice without being dogmatic about it or forceful about it, Just, y'all know my thing is about being thorough and complete. So sometimes I come off as being verbose or maybe speaking a lot when really I'm just making sure I'm being complete in my explanation, so that even if you go back and look at what I said, you may miss something and you go and research it, because you guys already know, believe nothing I say. However, challenge it by researching it. And then when it becomes your, when it becomes your own, and you go, you know what? That was pretty cool. That was dope. That, bro said, don't believe nothing he said, to go check it for my, because now it's yours. You know what I mean? It's like, you guys already know the example I use. I can eat this apple pie. Like, man, this apple pie is great. It's sweet, and I can taste, the cinnamon, or is this allspice? I don't know. So let me cut you a slice, and you taste it, and you tell me what you get, from it. Instead of me saying, ain't this a good pie? And you never tasted it, because whether you say yes or no, you're not experienced in eating the pie. So that's why I make sure no matter whatever it is that I share, you guys go and research it. That'll be like you actually taking a bite of the pie yourselves. Any questions, comments, and or suggestions going to the Twizzards? Questions, comments, and or suggestions going twice? Alrighty, questions, comments, and or suggestions going thrice. I want you all to rest and recharge well, right? I know that's what I'm about to do, right? And it's been interesting too, because I've been, like I said, guys, you already know, I've been doing a lot of jurisprudence studies. Shout out to the fam at Lawful Living. Shout out to Malika, Sunny, all of you guys at Lawful Living, Linnea, McReal, Keith, Richmond, especially our bro Quayne, right? Trading Brigade. Man, Keith, Samaya, who else? And who am I forgetting? I know Just Joe, right? Everybody at Lawful Living, right? All you guys, right? And Woman, Queen of Torts. I'm trying to think of everybody I can think of, right? Cam, man, I know brother C2020, he's here, he's part of the community. Just everybody is there that gives their energy. I know everyone's at different levels of comprehension also. But it's that's why I said these last couple of nights, and even before I went live today, I was working on some languaging, right? Some methodology, so to speak. If you know, you know, right? And I'm not speaking secret or in circles or whatever. It's just, if you know, you know, right? But just looking at the crack method, so to speak, and actually putting different, crack methods together for different scenarios. Because when you're pulled over by the police, when someone wants you to so-called pay child support, when someone wants you to be foreclosed upon, when someone wants to kick you out of your house or your apartment, what we've all recognized is that there is a racket that is going on, and that racket is based on statutory misapplication. So being heavy into the jurisprudence, you guys know that that's my thing, for the sake of taking my place amongst the affairs of men and assisting in uplifting fallen humanity, right? Prophet Noble Ali had expressly prescribed, help me in my mission to bring my people back into the constitutional fold of government, right? And the way that I assist in doing so, in helping to bring our people back into the constitutional fold of government, is by making sure they know, oh, okay, well, they use this statute this way, then okay, cool. However, it's not just my thoughts alone. So shout out again to our Amici Curiae group within Lawful Living. You guys are awesome. Even though I may know what I know and I can share the knowledge the way that I do, I always make sure that I give credit to where credit's due, right? And again, like this journey, like I said, it's funny because my brother is in the chat. You guys see the handle there, Silent 7. Not only is he the one that got me started on my production journey by showing me how to program within the Triton keyboard back when I was about 14, 15 years old. He was also the one that I actually had conversations with on different levels of spirituality and consciousness back at that time too, in my teens. And conversations with him is what led me to taking my Kalima Shahada when I was 20 years old at Muhammad's Temple of Islam #1 near the Baltimore Corporation, Maryland State Republic, right? So to be where I am now and to see, bro, is, it's very supportive. You guys can see, just because you guys already know, you comment, that's an angle of support for me, right? You guys are commenting, interacting in the chat. So, to just kind of put that, there, you know what I'm saying? It just really lets me know that this is further a glimpse for me to just be thankful and grateful, right? And that, I've had a foundation set, by just being a part of some R&B group, and the producer at that time was my bro that's there. You know what I mean? Got to meet him through my manager of my R&B group at that time, and it's just been like a brotherhood ever since then, right? Like and like, if you know, right? If you still watching, bro. Right. Anyway, so with that being said, I love ye all. Thank you all for joining me. Make sure you go rest and recharge well. When you go to get your victuals, right? When you go to eat, make sure you eat healthily and get some recreation, right? I'm talking to myself first and foremost, right? Because I'd be into the books or the electronic books so heavy, right? That I realized that I need to go and recess a whole lot more. I need to go play, right? Some more. So with that, I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. This is where I say to you all, namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam.